Jake Turner's day had been long and thankless. The summer heat clung to the air in his small-town garage, making every movement feel heavier. He wiped the grease from his hands, glancing at the clock. Just a few more minutes and he could finally close up, head home, and figure out how to stretch last night's leftover pasta into another meal. He was halfway to switching off the lights when the deep growl of an engine cut through the evening quiet. The sound was rich, powerful, but uneven, as if the machine was struggling to breathe. A moment later, a sleek black SUV rolled to a stop outside. It was the kind of car Jake rarely saw in this part of town, except maybe when a wealthy traveler took a wrong turn. The glossy paint shimmered under the fading sunlight, its custom rims catching the last golden rays. Even before the window rolled down, Jake knew whoever drove it didn't belong here. The tinted glass lowered, and a woman's voice called out softly, "Are you still open? My car, it's making a strange noise." Jake forced a polite smile. "You're in luck. Just about to close, but I can take a look." She stepped out, her sunglasses still in place despite the dim light. Her clothes were simple but expensive. Tailored jeans, a cream blouse, and a leather bag that probably cost more than Jake's truck. She didn't meet his eyes for long, as if afraid he might recognize her. Jake popped the hood and leaned over the engine. The smell of burning oil mixed with the faint trace of expensive perfume. The SUV's problem wasn't major, a failing coil pack and a clogged air filter. But as he worked, his gaze kept drifting back to the woman. It wasn't until she reached into her bag to check her phone that he saw it in a small, crescent-shaped birthmark on her wrist. Jake froze. His heart thudded. That mark? He hadn't seen it in over 15 years. His mind rushed back to the last time he'd seen his little sister. Emily, she'd been 12, sitting on the porch steps with her backpack, waiting for their mom to take her to school. She had waved at him, flashing that same birthmark, and then she was gone. Vanished without a trace. The police never found answers. The family tore itself apart searching for her until even hope faded. Jake's hand trembled as he tightened the last bolt. It can't be. But the more he looked, the more certain he became. The shape of her chin, the curve of her smile when she thanked him for working late. Even the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, all of it screamed Emily. He handed her the repair estimate. "You're lucky, just a few parts to replace. I can have it ready in an hour." She hesitated before replying. "That would be perfect. I'll wait here." Jake nodded, though his mind was spinning. He wanted to ask right then, to demand the truth. But something in her body language, the way she kept scanning the street, the tightness in her shoulders, told him this wasn't the moment. As he worked, he stole glances at her sitting quietly in the corner of the garage, her sunglasses still on, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. There was fear there, and maybe something else. Something like guilt. By the time the SUV's engine purred to life again, Jake's decision was made. He had to know. Jake stood by the humming SUV, wiping his hands on a rag that suddenly felt too small for the weight in his chest. The woman, Emily, if his gut was right, approached cautiously. She reached into her bag for her wallet, but Jake stopped her. "No charge," he said quietly. She froze. "What?" "Engines are one thing," Jake murmured, his voice steady but his heart pounding. "But this is family." Her lips parted in shock. Behind her sunglasses, he imagined her eyes wide, searching his face for cracks in his certainty. "I don't know what you mean," she said after a beat, her tone careful. Jake stepped closer, lowering his voice. 15 years ago, crescent birthmark on your left wrist, you were 12, you disappeared." The color drained from her cheeks. Slowly, she removed her sunglasses, revealing a pair of familiar green eyes that had once looked up to him when he taught her to ride a bike. "Oh my God," Jake whispered, "it is you." Emily's breath shook as tears welled. "I didn't want you to see me like this, or at all maybe. But fate had other plans." Jake's questions tumbled out, rough and unfiltered. "Where did you go? Why didn't you come back? Mom, she—" Emily's hands trembled as she clutched the SUV door. "I had to disappear, Jake. That morning I left for school, I overheard Dad arguing with someone on the phone. He wasn't who we thought he was. He had a past tied to some dangerous people. They knew about me, and they were coming. A man showed up at school. I panicked. Someone helped me get away." Jake's stomach churned. Their father had died years ago, taking his secrets with him. Or so he thought. I lived under a new name, Emily continued, voice breaking. Different towns, different schools. I couldn't contact you. It would have put you in danger. And when I finally thought it was safe, I didn't know how to come back without reopening all those wounds. Jake tried to swallow the knot in his throat. We spent years looking for you. Mom blamed herself. I blamed everyone. We thought you were gone forever. Emily wiped at her tears. I saw you once, years ago. You were working at a different garage then. I almost walked in, but I couldn't risk it. Jake shook his head slowly, still trying to piece it all together. So why now? Why roll into my shop in the middle of nowhere? Emily glanced toward the road. I think they've found me again. I've been moving every few months. The SUV broke down, and I didn't have a choice but to stop here. When I saw you, I thought maybe I could finally tell someone the truth. The garage was quiet except for the steady purr of the engine Jake had just brought back to life. He stared at his sister, the little girl he thought was gone, now a woman carrying years of fear and silence, and made his choice. You're not running alone anymore, he said firmly. If there's trouble, we face it together. I've lost you once, never again. Emily's lip quivered, and for the first time in years, she stepped forward and hugged him. The smell of engine oil and dust mixed with the faint perfume she wore. It was a strange, beautiful blend, past and present colliding in one moment. When they finally pulled apart, Jake handed her the keys. You're safe here tonight. Tomorrow we figure out our next move, and maybe we start putting our family back together. Emily managed a small smile. I'd like that, big brother. As the garage door rolled shut, sealing them inside, Jake felt a strange calm. The road ahead was uncertain, maybe even dangerous. But for the first time in 15 years, his family wasn't broken anymore, and that was worth more than any luxury SUV could ever be.